Hey guys, this is Blade from the Iron Curtain. Today I wanted to talk about the F-4 Phantom's radios. They're a little bit different than a lot of the modules in DCS that you might be used to, and ways to deal with these differences to make it so that you can communicate with your flight and external agencies effectively. One of the big things that we're going to be using to help out today is voice attack. It's probably the best $10 I've ever spent. For those of you who don't know, it essentially takes your voice and turns it into a keybind or a keyboard press or a stroke or whatever you really want it to do. So it'll hear your voice and then press keys, and then of course you can bind things to DCS to make it work. And for talking to Jester, this is my favorite way to do it, and also for talking to the ground crew. Just now I had the ground crew connect my ground power, my left engine air, start the airflow. So it's really useful, and I definitely recommend getting the paid version, which is yeah, I think only $10. Okay, so let's talk about the radios here a little bit. We'll go from the top to the bottom. Of course, we have our intercom here, and currently it's on hot mic. If I wanted to put that onto cold mic, I could do that. And now I'll press the button here to, the intercom button to talk to my Wizzo. Leave that on hot mic for now, doesn't really matter because we just have Jester today. Coming down here, we have the Anarch 164 comm. So this radio works like just about any radio that you'd expect in DCS. It has transmit and receive capabilities, meaning that you can talk to other people on it and other people can talk to you and you can hear them. That's different from the ARC 164 aux. This radio only receives. You cannot transmit on this radio. So you can use this to monitor other frequencies, but you cannot speak on it. So, thirdly, and not really important for this lesson, this is the Anarch 186. This radio isn't actually in the F-4E. This was something added by, I believe, SRS just to help people who don't want to deal with these issues, and I totally understand why you wouldn't. It's a little bizarre, I will say that the Phantom only really has 1.5 radios, if you want to call it that, but I think it's a cool challenge, and it's something that we like to explore here at the Iron Curtain. DCS is all about solving problems, so that's what we got going on today. So let's talk about how we have set up our radios, and we're going to talk about this preset to manual switch first and why this is a big help. So essentially this acts as a way, without looking down, if you have it bound to a switch or a button or something like that, to switch between talking to a preset, which would in our case be an external comm. Right now we are on a Ramstein ground frequency, and manual, which is our inner flight frequency. You'll also notice that 281.5, this is what our aux is tuned to on channel 1. So in this setup, we're going to be able to monitor what our flight, the other Phantoms that we're flying with, are talking about while we're talking on a separate frequency. In this case, yeah, Ramstein ground, like I mentioned. So let's say we want to talk to our flight. All we have to do is use our bind and hit that over to manual, and now we're on 281.5. And we can transmit on that frequency. Now we want to go back to Ramstein ground. Just select preset and we're there. Excellent. Okay, so now let's evolve this a little bit to the next level. Let's say if we put Jester in control of the comms. I'm just going to hit my button here. Jester hasn't turned on his radios yet. Great. Let's go ahead and do that for him. Hopefully he'll let me. Wonderful. Okay. So yep, now Jester is control of the comms in the back, and he has that set as well. What we can also do is I can set manual up here. You'll notice the frequency does not change. But if I hit the comm command button right here, it changes to my inner flight frequency. So by looking at that light, now I know that I am talking to my inner flight. And this is kind of the setup that I've been starting to play around with that I'm really starting to like. Is having Jester with voice attack change my radios for me, and then if I need to talk on inner flight, I just press my comm command button and then press it again when I'm done with my transmission. So let's try that out real quick. I'm going to hit my intercom button here, and let's go into the voice attack settings real quick. And we're going to talk about our options here for the F-4. So we've gone into hotkeys, and I've set up a hotkey specifically for the Phantom, where it only listens when I press my intercom button. So it's bound exactly the same as my intercom and my VoIP. And so essentially the voice attack won't be listening unless I press that button to talk to Jester. And as you see here, we have a bunch of these set comm commands. I also added push comm as well, 1 through 13, because I really don't think I'm going to be using more than 13 frequencies in a mission. If I even get up to 13, that would be pretty incredible. So now that we're back in DCS, let's press our intercom switch here, and we'll tell Jester to, let's say, to select preset 5. Set comm 5.
You got it.
Set comm 6.
Wilco.
Well, of course, it's not changing because I'm in command, so. Set comm 5.
Yep.
Set comm 2.
Copy.
Set comm 1.
Okay.
And as you see, I just switched back to manual, so now I'm in control of the manual and can talk on inner flight. So I wanted to try binding something that I thought would be cool, because it seems like there's currently a glitch in one of the Jester commands, which I think is a really nice one to have here. So we're going to go escape, adjust controls. This is frequency mode. So basically there's a way to tell Jester to change his frequency mode from manual to preset as well. Doesn't seem to be working right now. I've tried it. Set preset. Set manual. So as you see there, it's selecting the correct ones. And that's how I usually test it. So let's ask Jester and see if he does anything. So we'll make sure he's in command. Set manual. Set preset. Set manual. Yeah, he doesn't seem to like it very much. So hopefully they'll fix that, but it's not the biggest deal. The solution that I'm going to try right now, and hopefully it'll work for you guys as well, is I'm essentially going to bind this button here, my comm command button, and pretend it's Jester's comm command button. So first we're going to look here. Let's see if we can find this button here. Toggle radio command. Let's hope that's what it's called. Yep. So I'm just going to set a random key that I'm not using, in this case T for toggle, to my keyboard, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a new command, and I'm going to name it my radio. And then I'm going to press T for my key press for 0.1 second. And I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say your radio. Okay, so now we have those two commands, and now let's try it here and see how it works. Make sure that we are applied and done so it actually works. My radio. Your radio. So yeah, awesome. That does work. Of course, it won't realize if you have it selected to the wrong one. If, for example, right now I was to say your radio, it would select it to me. So you do have to keep that in mind as you're switching. So now essentially you can do your comms completely hands-free, switching between internal preset and manual by giving Jester controls and also having Jester change presets. Now you could also do the same thing on the aux radio. I've just been too lazy to, and the current comms plan that we have only really requires one auxiliary frequency. But you could totally do that as well for the aux frequencies, so we'll just open that up and I will show you guys those aux commands. So if you just search in here aux, you will see, yep, all of these commands for Jester. And if you wanted to see all of the commands for Jester, you can just go to Jester command. And yeah, there's a lot of them. So you really could do a lot with these. Yep, so thanks for watching, and hopefully this was helpful in being able to have a more seamless experience with the strange but fun challenges of the Phantom's radios. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.